Hello, friends. Wonderful to be together. Come over to the Insight Timer app if you'd like to be part of our live experience and discussion. Welcome. Hi, Heike. Great to see you. Welcome, friends. We will get started in about a minute. Hi, Siska. So glad to be together too. Great to see you, Belinda. Hi, Liz. Great to be together, all together. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Judy. How's our sound, my friends? Can you hear me? Hi, Sandy. Hi, Christine. Okay, great. Good, good, good. We'll just wait a few more moments. Thank you. Well, I missed being together the other day, as many of you know. Hi, Liz. Yeah, just the basic green screen, not even anything on it. I wanted to make sure we had a nice, strong connection today, and it hasn't been reliable lately, apparently. As I was saying, our last session that we had scheduled, we couldn't get together, which was such a bummer. Our internet in the whole area went out for like four or 5 hours. So that was that. And here we are now in this moment having an experience together. So warm, warm welcome, my friends. Thank you for being here. For anyone that I'm getting to meet for the first time, my name is Selena Layel. I lead lives each week on the app. I have a 10-day course, Yogic Practices for a Peaceful Life. We have a group called Love Heals All. Everyone is welcome. It's a space for us to just be together in kindness and love, to support each other, uplift each other, and to also just have a place to be held in the times that we are feeling off, upset, in the darkness, whatever it might be. So again, the group is called Love Heals All, and I'm just grateful to be together. Why don't we do that together? Let's take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, exhale. Today's session is an opportunity for us to experience greater presence, calm, ease. We're going to use a specific pranayama or breathing technique to support us in this. And I also just wanted to keep the space open in case we want to have a little discussion as well. Hi, Marthy. So great to see you. So first of all, many of you are familiar with this because you've heard me or someone else speak about it. Many of us live more in this stress response in the nervous system than we do in a more relaxed state. We have this experience within where there's a constant striving, a sense of not being able to let go or relax or calm down. So often, even in moments when we are still, maybe it's the end of the night when we're, lying down in bed, or we have a moment in the day where we can relax. And there's just so much agitation. It can feel really difficult to find a more relaxed experience within. And of course, there are so many reasons for this. Ugh, excuse me, my shawl fell on the floor. So many reasons. And we're not going to go into a workshop style around all of that today, although if you have any questions, please feel free to share them in the chat. And one of the reasons we experience this agitation when we slow down or when we're still, or, again, maybe it's the end of the day and you're finally, able to stop doing, but there's still all of this internal doing that's happening, or again, lying down at night to go to sleep and there's just so much happening within, or the mind is racing. So, on one hand, it is because we are habituated for many of us to live in this stress response. The fight or flight is activated. We're living more in the sympathetic nervous system, which is where there's more activity and where that fight or flight response is experienced. And then the parasympathetic nervous system, or the rest and digest aspect of the nervous system, is where we experience that relaxation response. And if we're not taking time to really train ourselves to be there in our minds, our brains, our bodies, our emotional regulation, then it's more likely we're going to be living in that stress response. So that's what's happening physiologically. And then there's also something else that's happening when we start to slow down. We become present to everything that's really happening within. And although we might have an experience sometimes of the mind racing or thinking that we're just very anxious mentally, sometimes that mental agitation is actually this mechanism, this internal mechanism, you could say a survival strategy that we've created unconsciously to not have to feel pain and discomfort. So, simply put, there is a resistance to feeling pain and discomfort. And one of the ways that many of us cope with that, even unconsciously, maybe consciously, is to move into the mind, into this mental experience. Because if we're in the mind fixing problems, solving things, trying to figure things out, excuse me, then we're not having to stay present with the feeling. So we slow down, and then the mind is doing what it's doing, continuing to try to distract us from just being. And of course, there are many other reasons why this might happen. So, this is a very generalized explanation of what happens within us. We are left meeting ourselves. And many of us experience this in meditation as well. Even those of us like myself who have been meditating really like twice a day, disciplined meditating since I was 14. I learned meditation at the age of 5. And even people like myself who have really, in some ways, trained their nervous system and their mind and brain to be a certain way, I still sit down to meditate and I can have all of these racing thoughts at times. So, um, I'm trying to remember where I was going with that. I think just to acknowledge that it's normal to sit down in meditation and to have an experience of agitation. Many of us have a misconception that when we meditate, we're supposed to just have our mind be clear, and we get caught in so much resistance and struggle in that experience. So even when we sit down to meditate, sometimes that mental agitation is there before we're able to drop into a deeper place, whether that's a deeper place where we meet ourselves and any uncomfortable emotion or pain that's present, or maybe it's just that unwinding, that slowing down from being in such a state of doing constantly that we actually have to kind of like unpeel ourselves, unglue ourselves from that activity, and then we move from sympathetic to parasympathetic in the nervous system. So I'm going to pause here for just a moment. I see a couple of comments have come in and I'd like to read them. Oh, great piece. Great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Brad. Okay, great. Just some hellos from our beloved friends. Hello, hello, hello. And as always, friends, especially if you're new, I invite you to say hi in the chat. I know some of us feel more comfortable just kind of, hanging out behind the scenes and watching, and that's totally okay. And your presence is appreciated. Hi, Em. Your presence is part of this community. Whether you say something in the chat or not, you are contributing to this collective that we're creating together, which is always a beautiful space. Yes, even if we come to this space of these live sessions or our group, even if we come feeling totally awful or off or funky, we are part of this collective energy that we create together with this intention of kindness, curiosity, love, acceptance, compassion. So much is in this space. So always please feel free to say hi. I love getting to hear from you. And I know that our community members love hearing from you as well. Okay, let's do that again. Deep breath in, sigh it out, just let it go. Inhale. Let's do one more like this. I really want to feel your sigh with me. Inhale deeply, let out some sound. Ah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Laura Sherm just downloaded this app starting my expansion of consciousness journey today. Awesome. Well, what an honor to be with you on your journey, in your journey, especially in this first day. Thanks for being here with us in this live. And this is a good tool right here, my friends. Especially for anyone who feels like they have to be on, right? Like here I am leading this session and I'm on camera. I have to be on, right? I have to do things the right way and be professional and all of these things. So whether you're in an environment like this, or you have a presentation to give at work, or maybe you're just speaking with your friend or your partner and you have something you want to express that feels important to you, and you feel like you have to be poised in a certain way or show up a certain way, practice taking a breath. Practice taking a pause. Practice giving yourself permission to be human, which is not perfect and not totally structured and it doesn't have to be so rigid. So we can take a breath and arrive. Okay. Oh, so happy to see you all. We're going to move into a meditation together. We'll begin with some pranayama, some breathing, and then we'll move into a deeper space together. What was I going to say? I'm not totally sure. So we'll just move into our experience. And then if there are any comments or questions at the end, we will take a little bit of time for that. We are going to begin with Brahmari Pranayama, or bee breath. This is a wonderful yogic breathing technique that helps to take us from that sympathetic nervous system, that doing or that fight or flight or stress response, into the rest and digest or the relaxation response inside. Studies have shown that when we exhale slowly and with length, meaning like a long exhalation, that activates something called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is this major nerve that runs kind of from the base of the skull all the way down into our gut. And this nerve plays a big part in us moving from fight or flight to that relaxation response. And it becomes activated when we focus on long exhalations. So you can just kind of remember this. You have this built in superpower when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling distressed in any way. You can say, all right, I have a superpower to calm myself down right now. Now, it may not completely alleviate the symptoms, but it may just bring you a little bit more online so that you can think more clearly, or you just feel a little more grounded or centered in whatever it is that you're navigating. So you remember, my superpower is exhaling fully, long, slow exhalations. And that activates that parasympathetic nervous system, excuse me. And there's one other thing I'd like to speak to just briefly, because many of us have been in this conversation many times, or maybe you're just aware of this or familiar with this from other areas of your life. We live in a time where there's this hyper awareness on the experience of anxiety. And many of us say things like my anxiety, right? Oh, my anxiety is bad today. Yeah, my anxiety. And I would like to invite that it's not your anxiety. It's not. It's not your anxiety. It's an experience you're having. It doesn't mean that the experience isn't real. It doesn't mean that it's not awful at times, but it's not yours. See, it's like claiming something that isn't yours and then taking it on in a way that you feel identified with it. And the more we feel identified with something, the more we feel trapped by it. There isn't the possibility. It doesn't feel as possible, I should say, to feel free from that because we've taken it on as part of our identity when it's not. It's not. It's an experience. And it may be a uh, very prominent experience, but it's still an experience. I don't know if prominent is the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm saying. It's very uh, all-consuming experience, we could say. So this anxiety is an experience, and what I have found within myself in the many years I've been working with people, and even different studies that are published, anxiety is often used as a blanket term, an umbrella term, meaning we have an experience inside and we immediately label it as anxiety. And there are different ways that we can look at this. For example, if you really look at the baseline experience of excitement, it's actually the same as anxiety for the most part, maybe completely the same. But it's the story that we're placing on the two that make them feel so different. Maybe you're going on a date or you're going on a concert or you're doing something that you really really want to do and you feel so nervous about it. You feel that like that joyful excitement, nervousness, right? If you were to really look at how you felt in that moment, it's very similar to a common experience that we have that we would label otherwise anxiety. Yes, but the story is different. Oh, I'm excited to do something makes us relate to that feeling in one way. And oh, this is horrible. I hate feeling this way makes us relate to it differently. So that's one thing we can kind of consider. And again, it's not black or white. There isn't just one experience here. And that's also why I always invite, I'm never here to say that you need to agree with me or believe what I'm saying. You can just kind of take what resonates for you and leave the rest behind. So, coming back to this awareness of anxiety being like this umbrella term, many of us, when we have an experience of what we might label as anxiety, it is actually the experience of agitated emotion building up inside. Maybe you know this experience in yourself where you've been really sad. There's just been so much sadness inside. And then you have a big cry, and all of a sudden, that experience of anxiety that you were feeling, it just dissolves. It disappears because you cry. Or maybe you feel really angry about something and you feel so anxious. Or maybe you're not even aware you feel angry, but then you yell or you do something to move your bodies, to move that energy, and the anxiousness goes away. So often, what we label as anxiety is a buildup of emotion inside of us. And our resistance to sitting with that experience of emotion, to being with that emotion, will cause even more of this friction inside that we're labeling as anxiety. So, if you're ever curious about the anxiousness that you're feeling, you might be curious and ask yourself, am I feeling something underneath this? And maybe your mind immediately says, no, I'm just anxious. I just have anxiety. I need, to just get help. Maybe that's true. Maybe you sit with that. Or maybe you're able to just go a little deeper. Okay, I know this so far in my life as anxiety. That's what feels true. But if I was just a little more open minded, if I really allowed myself to feel my body, is there something else that's bothering me? Am I feeling a buildup of grief inside that I just have been ignoring? Am I feeling really frustrated? Am I feeling shame? Is there some internal agitation emotionally that's causing me to experience it as anxiousness. It's kind of like this is going to be a terrible example, but this is where my mind went right now. Imagine if you could take the energy of anger and put it in a champagne bottle, and just fill it up. So this bottle is totally full of anger, but if you shake up that bottle, it's just a bunch of fizzy carbonated agitation, right? That's a terrible example, but maybe some of you are on that wavelength with me. Yeah. Anger is what is causing the agitation, but it's in the form of champagne or spritzer water. So it feels very anxiety inducing. That anxiousness arrives. Thanks for just, thank you for accepting me in my inability in that moment to create a good analogy. I am going to come back and read your comments because I see that I've missed a few. And then we are going to move into our meditation, beginning with Brahmari Pranayama. Yes, wonderful, wonderful, wise comments from so many of you, my friends. I'm just kind of going through them. I know if you're in the chat, if you're not on Insight Timer, come join us on the app so you can be part of our live experience. Mm. Yeah, hi, Farnaz. Great to see you. Farnaz is sharing anxiety is horrible. I prefer a physical pain. And this is something that's really interesting to look at because where is the experience of anxiety? The experience of anxiety, although we could say it's definitely mental, right? There's mental agitation. That experience that we have that we call so unpleasant, we experience it in the body. That discomfort, that agitation is in the body. And so there's usually an invitation to go deeper. Okay, what is underneath this anxious feeling? And sometimes it's part of us just needing to be acknowledged or honored or accepted, or just to like place a hand on your heart and say, I'm really sorry I was so hard on you today. Or, wow, I know you're feeling really scared about this thing. I'm right here for you. It's amazing. It's amazing what can happen when we take simple self acknowledgement and self soothing behaviors. That feeling of anxiousness can just dissolve. And this is such a deep topic. We could spend a lot of time here, but I do want to move on to our meditation. So I'm going to continue on with our comments and then we'll move into the meditation. Um, okay, I'm trying to find my way back to your comments. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Liz. Mm. Oh, I want to read what Brianna shared here. My anxiety, and we said my, right? We love to claim it, but it's not you. It's an experience. My anxiety has improved so much with learning to process my emotions, set boundaries, and express needs. We have to listen to ourselves and our feelings. Repression and pushing through really burned me out. Mic drop right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's it. That's it. Lovely. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, and Farnaz is saying, with respect, and I'm not meaning anyone here, but some people think anxiety is a bit of worry or stress. I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to express there, my love. Maybe you're saying that people downplay it and they don't understand how intense it can feel. I'm not, feel free to clarify for me there. But anxiety, yes, it can absolutely start as a mental experience and often does. Yes, we get caught in those mental loops. So it can be that buildup, that stacking of emotion within, and it can also be what's happening in the mind, constantly thinking about regrets and something that happened, or more commonly, thinking about the future. Yes, and that deep desire to want to feel safe, therefore needing a sense of control, and we can't control the outcome of the future. We can do our best to lay a path that will create the results that we want, but we don't have control. And so this is part of our journey as human beings or as people in a spiritual path consciously. We're all in a spiritual path if you'd like to look at that way. Look at it that way, yes. So uh, yes, yes, yes. Moving on here. Okay. All right. All right. Thanks, Farnaz. Yeah. So Farnaz was sharing that, yes, people don't take us seriously, not even my doctor. Yeah. And what do I want to say to that? First of all, I just acknowledge you and thank you for clarifying that. And quite often, the experience of anxiety that we have is mentally induced. Now, that doesn't mean that it's okay to downplay what someone else is going through, right? I mean, people will do what they do, and our job is to do our best to be with ourselves, love ourselves, respect ourselves, honor ourselves, regardless of what others are doing. We do, though. We do create mini psychosomatic experiences for ourselves and so many other things. But it doesn't take away from how real it feels for us. And I think that's maybe the most important thing to acknowledge, regardless of the origin or why something is being experienced. If someone is having a really challenging time, feeling very anxious or something else, that is real for them in that moment. And it's not for anyone else mm, to judge their process. Although we constantly do. We judge ourselves, we judge others, we think people are supposed to process things in a certain way. We're all different. We're all different. Yeah. I feel my own sense of like wanting to control things for in lives and the lives of some of the people that I love. I see them suffering so much and I just want them to change whatever it is, like their diet or their sleep habits or just try a little bit of meditation, and it's not my business. My business is to love them. And that's because that's my business. Hmm. Okay. So let us move into our experience together. Traditionally, Brahmari Pranayam is practiced with mudras, using the hands to close off the senses and have this deeper experience. But for our time together, we'll just be focusing on the breathing technique itself. So we'll take a deep, full breath in. And again, as a reminder, the vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system are activated through long exhalations, among other things. So when we take a deep breath in and then we hum on the exhalation, and the idea here is we want that humming sound, one, to be audible. You want to be able to hear yourself humming, and two, for it to be as long as possible. I'm going to turn off the noise canceling software here. Hopefully the sound will still be clear. You feel free to let me know if it's not, because I want you to be able to hear me humming, and it cuts out the humming sound. So when we hum, and we're really gently kind of pushing the breath out, and what I mean by that is often many of us have very shallow breathing habits. So when we go to take a breath in, we're kind of breathing in from here up and we're exhaling only here down. We're not involving the whole belly, which really helps to, when we feel that belly opening, expanding and contracting, it's helping to expand and contract the diaphragm, which allows the lungs to fill with more breath. And then, of course, for the breath to be expelled. So we take a deep breath in, we hum on the exhalation until all the air has been released. And one of the reasons I've heard that we call this Brahmari Pranayama, other than the humming sound resembling that of the bee, is because at the end, when you're exhaling, you might hear this kind of like bee-like sound as the breath is coming to a completion. It won't be a smooth how many more? It might start to go so it might kind of sound like a buzzing bee dancing on flowers. So that's it. We take a deep breath in and we hum on the exhalation until all of the breath has been expelled. If you wish, you can gently touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth, just behind the upper teeth. This allows this flow, this movement of energy through the central channel, and it also reminds us to relax the jaw. And you may also wish to roll the gaze up. So the eyes will be closed when we move into this experience. And if you wish, you can roll the gaze up between the eyebrows to the first eye, the Ajna chakra. So we'll move into this for 10 breaths. So complete breaths in and out 10 times. Don't worry, you don't need to count. I will do the counting for us. Any questions before we begin? Okay. And finally, if you wish, because we're not using the mudras covering the senses for this, you may wish to just take chin mudra with your hands. So just gently cover the index fingers with the thumbs, and you can have the hands resting on the lap. Let us sit tall. And you may not exhale as long as I do, or maybe even longer. So feel free to find your own rhythm here with this gentle focus on the long exhalation and humming loud enough so that you can hear yourself. And this is actually one final tip here. If you find that your breath is shallow or that it feels difficult to exhale for a longer period of time, the more you hum loudly, the more you have this experience of this pressure happening, and this will actually help to lengthen the breath out. Okay, so let's begin. And I invite you to just set aside whatever else you're doing. Really give yourself this gift. It's so powerful what we can experience from this breathing technique. So set aside your reading, your chatting, anything else you're doing if you can. If you're driving, you may not want to do this because it's a very deeply relaxing breath. So maybe just listen in with us and focus on your breathing being nice and relaxed. Hands in chin mudra. Gently touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the upper teeth. Close the eyes and roll the gaze up between the eyebrows. Roll the shoulders up and back a few times. Relax them back and down. Chin is slightly tucked so the energy can move freely up and down the spine. Allow the lips to gently touch, and at the same time, feel a space between the teeth. The lips remain soft and gently touching throughout this experience. We'll take a deep breath in, and then we'll hum on the exhalation. So let us inhale. Go beyond the mind, focus on the breathing. Hum so you can hear yourself nice and loud. One more. Be perfectly still. Eyes are closed. Breathe naturally. Perfectly still. Be still, and at the same time, allow the body to be relaxed. The shoulders drop down. The hands are relaxed. The face is soft. Belly is soft. Be still. Long exhalations. Deep inhalations. Very slowly place your palm over your heart center. Feel your body breathing, your heart beating, and be grateful to you. Grateful for showing up today for yourself. Bring to mind someone who you feel loved by or safe with, someone you love, someone who warms your heart to think of them. And imagine that that person is sitting beside you. Imagine them smiling, and how good it feels to be in their presence. We don't realize that when we feel hurt by another, judged by another, that we reject ourselves, that we judge ourselves, that we wrong ourselves. And in the moment that we are needing our own kindness, compassion, or presence the most, we leave. Every time we felt hurt by another, we've been so focused on blame or judgment or feeling wronged that we haven't known. We've never learned. Most of us have never learned how to stay present with ourselves in moments of pain and distress. And so we get focused outside on blame, judgment, problem solving. But all the while, there is this part of us within that doesn't need anybody else but our own self, but you, your kindness, your acceptance, your forgiveness. You might even know the experience of finally getting an apology from someone or hearing something from someone else that you thought would make you feel at peace, but you still don't. And that is showing you that it is your relationship with you that is needing the repair, the healing, the homecoming. So in this moment, I invite you to turn toward yourself, whether that is a feeling of being with yourself or wrapping your arms around your body or imagining yourself sitting next to you as well. Turn toward you and ask yourself, what do you need from me right now? What do you need from me? And open your mind, open your heart. How can you give yourself what you're needing? How can you be the one to show up and say, I'm here. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm sorry you're feeling this way, but I'm here now. I'm sorry I was distracted before or trying to get away from this pain. I'm here now. I care about you. You're important to me. I love you. Can you sit with yourself fully for these next moments together and practice accepting yourself just as you are? Practice having compassion for yourself rather than judgment. To forgive, to love you. You may wish to thank yourself or acknowledge yourself in some way that feels kind. And then we'll move into Brahmari Pranayama for 5 final breaths. Find your upright seated position. The hands can take chin mudra if you wish. Chin is slightly tucked. Tongue gently touches the roof of the mouth behind the upper teeth. Eyes are closed with the gaze between the eyebrows. And we hum audibly on the exhalation. Take a deep, full breath in to begin. One more. Breathe naturally. Feel yourself expanding, softening. Relax the lips and jaw, the whole face. Feel your feet and imagine that your long, relaxed breath is reaching all the way down into the feet as you inhale and all the way back up as you exhale. Very slowly begin to move the fingers and toes and move in a way that allows you to be really aware of what you're feeling. Notice the sensations of every small movement. You may wish to stretch the body a little. And when you're ready, take your time and open the eyes. Thank you. So, how does that feel? What's happened within you? What shift has taken place? Where are you now? If you were to compare your experience before the meditation and then now, where are you now? And there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. Yeah, Brianna, definitely that resonance. Thank you for your donations, my friends. Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting me and supporting Insight Timer. Part of your donation goes to me and the other part to Insight Timer to keep all of this available for us. So thank you so much, so much. Oh, beautiful. I feel unburdened. I can breathe deeper, feeling calmer, more loving toward myself and grateful, more settled and calm, relaxed, healing and so serene within, peaceful within and without. I'm just really relaxed, ready for bed. Beautiful. Yeah, thank you, friends. I sometimes I don't know that the donations go through. I don't keep track of them, but thank you for your intention to donate. If you're ever having issues donating in the live sessions, you can always go to the teacher's profile, and there's a way to donate directly too if you're ever wanting to do that. Yes, Heike, I'm so grateful for our community and for you. Oh, beautiful, Siska. A beautiful piece that I've looked for sure, for a week for sure. Beautiful. Brad shared, I really enjoyed today, rested and safe, and I'm looking forward to the next one. It's great to see you and experience different perspectives on our journeys. I always find something great to ponder and incorporate into my thoughts and actions and pass along to others. Beautiful. Thank you for all the kindness, but thank you, beloved. Thank you. That's beautiful. That's it, right? We take what we learn and then we can go out and share it with others and be part of this global upliftment, that beautiful ripple effect, whether it's through just our energy or our presence or our words, sometimes just a smile, right? Just looking at someone. offering a moment of kindness through our eyes can be such a transformative gift. Mm. Jesse shared, I feel like I have to search for anything outside of myself. I feel like I don't have to search for anything outside of myself. I possess everything that I've been blessed. Oh, beautiful. That's it. That's it. Each of us possess everything that we long for, that we desire, that we think is outside. And it's through these experiences where we regulate our nervous system and our emotions, and we come into this communion with our own beloved self, that we can have a taste and ultimately live in a state of this knowingness that all is right here. It's right here. Hmm. Beautiful. I'm so glad, Claire. Yes, triple is. Wonderful. All right, beloveds. Well, any last thoughts before we complete? I will look at our live schedule here. I don't think we have any sessions next week because I'm traveling again. Lots of travel happening right now. I believe our next session is on I think it's not until Friday, May 20th, but you can always check my live schedule. Oh, that's where I should go. I should go to the app. You can always check my live schedule by going to my profile page in the app. And, oh no, May 18th. Oh, I better make sure I have that in my calendar. Yes. We haven't done yoga asanas together for some time. So on May 18th, we will be having a vinyasa yoga asana practice again. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Friday, May 20th, we will be having a meditation for inspiration mindset. We'll use our powerful minds and imaginations to consciously create our day and what we want to experience in our lives. And that's happening Friday, May 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Belinda. Oh, beautiful. Laura shared, I feel like all the answers are within us. Beautiful. Thank you, friends. Thank you for your blessings. And oh, thank you, Astrid, for sharing. Astrid shared, I feel sad but relieved. My body feels light. Ah, yeah, exactly. Sometimes it might not be just some, totally different experience or everything's peaceful and happy all the time. Sometimes it's just a very tender experience, or maybe we still feel really agitated and we just need more time to be with ourselves. So thank you for being vulnerable and authentic and sharing that, because that's part of the journey also. Wonderful. And I'm so glad. I know I'm in a time zone right now that makes it easier so that our uh, European community and Middle Eastern community can join. But I'm about to go back to where I live in Hawaii, and it's quite a time difference there. So, for those of you, I know a lot of people are here visiting from the UK. So, I'm so glad we got to be together. It's really such a treat. I've missed being with so many of you this last year that I've been in Hawaii. It's a big time difference. So. I think it's about 12 hours. I mean, general, of course, because it depends on where you are, yes. But it's usually between a 10 and like 14-hour time difference. And then, of course, the further east you go, it's even more. But that's why sometimes it works out that we can have sessions with our friends in Australia, because it's almost 24 hours difference. So, oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be together. Okay, beloveds. all my love, all my love to you, all my gratitude. I love you. And we're all just doing our best, you know. This is an intense period of time on the planet. We can look at it just practically with everything that's happening, and also spiritually. It's a very intense time of transformation, and many of us are having upheavals of so much coming to the surface on its way out, and it feels very isolating and lonely, and we feel like there's something wrong with us, or we don't understand what's going on inside. You know, we might say things like, "Oh, well, I'm meditating all the time and I feel like crap, you know." So just know that you're not alone. It's a very, very intense time of shift. And that's one of the beautiful things about having communities like this. Yes, we come together to support each other and to just be in practice together and to remember that we're not alone. And that's really what our group here is about as well. Love heals all. There hasn't been as much activity in the group lately, but please, if you're part of the group or if you'd like to join the group, use it. Use it as a support system, you know. Whether it's to receive support because you're going through the darkness or what seems like the darkness, or because you have some gem that you've taken from your growth. Let's serve each other. Okay, thank you. I love you. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Yeah, what is today? Friday? I think today's Friday. Yeah, I'll see you 2 weeks from today. Oh no, if you join for yoga, a little less than 2 weeks. Okay. I love you. We are always together in the heart of creation, in our oneness. Just tap into that. You're not alone. I love you. Blessings, blessings, blessings.